It was the 28th of October 2015. The golden sun was sinking over the mighty Victoria Nile in Uganda's largest national park. A group of Dutch students and their guide had just returned from a river safari. Among them was a young woman, 21-year-old Sophia Coets, a bright Dutch medical intern. Around 6:30 p.m., she walked toward the latrines with nothing but a small water bottle in her hand. A ranger spotted her gazing quietly at the river, almost lost in thought. Moments later, she was gone. No screams, no tracks, no sound, just silence. Sophia had vanished into the wilderness. Sophia Isabella Frederica Coetsier wasn't just another tourist. Born in Amsterdam in 1994, she was known as intelligent, adventurous, and full of life. She loved sports, theater, and travel. By 2015, she had just completed her Bachelor of Medicine and flown to Uganda for an internship at Lubaga Hospital. Her colleagues admired her. Locals adored her. She learned Luganda just to connect better with people. She even told her family she dreamed of returning to Uganda permanently one day. But behind her radiant personality, Sophia carried a hidden struggle: bipolar disorder. Diagnosed at just 16, she managed it with medication and support. To most, she seemed unstoppable. But as her story unfolds, this hidden battle would complicate everything. After finishing her internship in late October, Sophia decided she wasn't ready to leave Uganda. She extended her stay to explore the country's wild beauty. With 2 Dutch students and a local guide, she set out on a 5-day safari across Uganda. Their final stop, Murchison Falls National Park, a land of lions, elephants, crocodiles, and hippos. That evening, after the safari, the group settled into simple cabins at a student education center. They unpacked, laughed, prepared to rest, and then Sophia disappeared into the dusk, never to return. At first, her friends thought she was taking too long, but when she didn't return from the latrines, panic set in. They searched the camp. Nothing. Within 15 minutes, rangers were alerted. Darkness fell fast, forcing a desperate search. The group even played Sophia's favorite song, Isabella by Southeast Soul, on repeat from their car, hoping she'd hear it and follow the sound. But the night remained silent. By 9 p.m., Maria was informed her daughter had vanished in the heart of Africa. The next morning, the search intensified. Rangers, police, and even the Ugandan military joined in. Then a clue. Sophia's empty water bottle was found near the northern bank of the Victoria Nile, a dangerous place filled with crocodiles and hippos. Was this proof of an animal attack? Authorities leaned toward that explanation. But 40 hours later, something far stranger surfaced. Scattered across the riverbank were Sophia's belongings: hiking pants, a shoe, sunglasses, a torn banknote, and an empty souvenir bag. Pieces of fabric were even tangled in a tree 16 feet above the ground. Yet, there was no blood, no footprints, no signs of a struggle. And, curiously, rangers swore these items hadn't been there before. Had someone placed them later? Investigators soon noticed something chilling. Sophia's pants didn't look ripped by claws or teeth. They looked cut by a knife. And who scatters belongings neatly across a riverbank? To survival experts, this was no animal attack. It was staged, convenient for authorities to close the case, but not convincing at all. Think about it. No screams, no tracks, no blood. And the terrain between the camp and the river was nearly impossible to cross at night. Could Sophia really have walked there alone in the dark? Or was she taken? As questions grew, her mental health became a focus. Her companions admitted she'd been acting differently days before the safari, talking rapidly, sleeping little, even damaging chairs near a fire. Signs of a manic episode. Some suggested she may have wandered off recklessly. But even if that were true, still didn't explain the knife-cut clothing, staged belongings, or the total absence of a body. Her family insisted. Sophia loved life. She had big plans. She was not suicidal. Something or someone else was at play. On the 30th of October, Maria Coetsier arrived in Uganda. Helicopters, drones, and embassy officials joined the search. Still, nothing. Authorities insisted it was an animal attack. The Ugandan media barely covered the case, but Maria refused to accept silence. She returned to Uganda more than 20 times, uncovering disturbing details. A retired wildlife officer revealed he saw Sophia talking to another officer the night she vanished. That officer denied it and was never questioned. Even more shocking, nearly 400 wildlife recruits had been training just over a mile from Sophia's camp that night. This fact was hidden in official reports. Why? When Sophia's belongings were analyzed in the Netherlands, the results were explosive. Her DNA was there, but so was the DNA of an unknown man. Who was he? Why wasn't this tested against local suspects? Theories swirled. Sophia drowned. No body was ever found. Did she wander off? The jungle showed no trace. Self-harm? Her family rejected it completely. Voluntary disappearance? Impossible. She was too close to her family and too full of ambition. The most chilling theory remained staged scene, male DNA, and suspicious silence from authorities. Human trafficking? A cover-up? Perhaps even involvement of those meant to protect her. Years passed. In 2019, Uganda's prosecutor reopened the case, but progress stalled. Then in 2025, her safari guide, Michael Kajambu, finally went on trial, not for her disappearance, but for operating without a license. Witnesses accused him of ignoring Sophia's mental health episode days earlier. But even then, the real questions remained unanswered. Where is Sophia? Who was the man connected to her belongings? Why were hundreds of recruits nearby? Yet no real investigation was done. To this day, Sophia's disappearance remains unsolved. Officially, the case leans on the animal attack explanation, a story riddled with holes. For her family, especially her mother Maria, the fight for truth never ends. They believe someone knows what happened, someone is hiding something, and maybe, just maybe, Sophia's fate is tied to something far darker than anyone ever dared to admit. So, what do you think? Was Sophia really attacked by a wild animal, or was she caught in a web of crime, cover-ups, and secrets that stretch far deeper than we'll ever know?